this process. Okay, today we have the materials that we want to cover is Unity UI and both design of the UI, how we can put the UI items and how we can use them, and also the interaction for the UI. Mostly the mouse interaction. We will see how we can activate our mouse and how we can find the events by the mouse, and we can capture those events and then run some functions based on these events. And we will see how we can use them in some simple games, and then we will see how we can create simple animations for our character. So for sure, we are not going to create art. We will just use the arts that are already available, and we will see how we can create those simple 2D animations. And these are the important parts of our class today. Okay, let's share screen, and I think you can see my screen now. Um, okay, so we start with Unity Hub, um, and we just go and create some new project. We saw this how we can create this new project, just adding pressing on a new project, selecting the version. So for me, already two versions are installed. I select the latest one, which is also a LTS version. Um, I change the project name, uh, UI test project, and the location is the same. I don't change its location, and I don't want to connect to cloud. Just leave it, and no Unity version control. And select 2D here and creating this project. It will take a little bit time, about 1 minute, I guess, to start this project. So by before starting this project, I want to say that why we go to Unity UI design, because almost every game has some kind of UI, which means that there are some elements on the screen that you can see those elements, and you can interact with those elements. You can click them, or you can enter something, some data, some thing by keyboard, and then that's anything that you can see on the screen. For example, you can see the scores, the game name, game information, or there are possibilities for changing some elements of the game, selecting level, or there are UIs for selecting resource, changing resource. This is something that you can see in every game, and probably in your project, in project 2 for this course, you also need this UI. And we will see how we can add elements to this UI, and how we can interact with them. This is the first part of the lecture today, and we go after the project is ready. It's still working, and please feel free to ask any question during the lecture. If you see any problem, or you can't do or you can continue because of a problem or exception, just let me know, and I can help you with that. And okay, let's wait. Yes. Uh, this is the empty project. It's already installed, and as you saw before, When we have a empty project, uh, only we have one main camera and nothing else. And now we want to add something to our uh, game environment and work with that. Just waiting for the project. Probably you are also waiting to opening the project as well. Okay. Um, so when we want to work with the UI in Unity, there are two concepts that we usually work with them. And the first concept is the object that we work with it, and it's a canvas, and it is something that we create when we want to have a UI for project, and it's kind of a canvas for painting. So we put everything on the canvas. So it's not possible to have a UI without having a canvas, and that's the reason the first thing we add to the project is the canvas. So here, if I right click on the hierarchy, just here in the hierarchy, I just right click, and in the UI section, there is a canvas that I add this canvas to the project. And this is my main canvas, and everything will be on this canvas, and we have to add this. As you can see, by adding canvas, something else is also added to this hierarchy, which is called event system. And this event system is something that allows us to have some interaction with the UI. As I said, for example, by clicking mouse or some other things. So this is automatically added. I added this canvas, and this event system was added automatically. And now what we do after this adding canvas is just adding some panels. Panels are something that we put them on the canvas, and it is under the canvas. So if we want to add panel, we don't add it at the root. We just select the canvas and add our panels to this canvas. So here I just go UI and add panel. This is the panel that I added, and as you can see, the hierarchy, the panel is under the canvas. So it is part of this canvas. And when we want to design our UI, we can have uh, one canvas and many panels. And so for this one, I just rename it panel. I just rename it to start panel. And this is the panel. I can add my items to this panel. For example, I can add image, text, anything I want, and I can add this to this panel. So for example, I can go and add some text. Because I'm working with the UI, anything I am adding to this panel is selected from this UI collection that you can see here. So again, I'm right clicking on this panel and adding some text. There are two options for adding text. One is the legacy system, which has some old components, which are called text, button, drop down, and input fields. We usually don't work with this because anyway, these are the legacy ones, and probably they will not appear in the next versions of this Unity. So what we do is just using these new ones, text mesh pro and button text mesh pro, and the other one. So for a start, I just want to add some text, and it asks me to import the assets for this, and just click on the import. And if you want to import other examples and extras for this text mesh pro, you can add it. But now, yeah, I just add it again to my project. But it's possible not to do that. I just keep import the essential ones, and not the examples, something else. But I want to add them fully to the project. And you just close this window after importing this TXT Mesh Pro. And it's just needed one time. And after this, for this project, if you want to add other Text Mesh Pro or other button Text Mesh Pro, it doesn't need to do anything. And it's imported just one time. Okay. This is the text that we added here, and as you can see, it's just imported and in the middle of the screen. It is possible that we can change the position, and also we can align the position. And this is the value of this text, so I can say that I can change this. My first shooter game, something like this, and let's just um, we have it here. I can change the size of the font. I can, for example, put it 20, a little bit bigger here. And as you can see, the by default, this text is in the middle of the screen, and you can change this with this. If you want to select this, as I said, you just select this text and bring your mouse to the scene, and if you press F, it just finds that on the screen. So when you can't find your items in the game scene, you just click it and press F, and it finds your item in the game scene. So as you can see, you can change it manually, but what we usually do is that we want to align this text in some part of the window, and that's how we work with it. So for example, if I want to put it in top, there is a window here in the inspector. I just select this Text Mesh Pro, and you can see uh, there is a option here. You can select where you want to align this text in the window of this user interface, and by default, as you can see, it's in the center. If you want to change the position and set the position, you just have to, as you can see, it says that for setting you need to press Alt. So it's not just by selecting this, you have to press Alt and then this one. So it just goes to this one. As you can see, it goes to top right, or this one goes to top center, and you can change any position. So this way, when you start your game with different scales, you are make sure that your text will be in that position and it will be aligned in that position. And we usually use this. So for now, let's put it here. And also something else, probably we can align the text as well at in the center. I did this, and also I want to change the text. So for example, one thing we need to do is just changing the font. There are two options for having fonts and text on the game. So one possibility is that you just use the font that are already in the Unity, or you just download your font. But the other option is you can create the text by some graphic tools, and as not just not a text, it's just image. It's usually possible, especially when you have a specific theme of a game that relates to some specific environment, and usually those commercial phones doesn't work for us. But anyway, I just want to show how you can change the font. uh, if you want to use the font here, as you can see, there is a font asset here, and you can select from these, but they're just limited, probably 9 fonts that are already here. If you want to use font, it is not possible to directly use the fonts that you already have, and you have to create your font asset before using it. So I just want to show how you can, for example, download a font and create a font asset for yourself and assign it to this text. I just go over the web, and for example, here there are lots of font on the internet. Just This is one of the probably font space. You can find lots of free fonts there. But and you can see these are different fonts. Suppose I want to have this Halloween font here, and I download this font. I download it here. I open it. You can directly move from zip file to the Unity. This is very important. As you can see, if I move it here, I want to put it in my assets folder. It doesn't allow me. It shows this red icon. It should be extracted before importing to our project. So what I do is just move this from the zip file, for example, to desktop. Uh, let's replace it. And I have this font here, Halloween, and now I can drag and drop to this folder. I just put it and then rename the folders. As I said, we should have our good foldering here. So in the assets, I create a new folder to hold this font. I just name it fonts, and I drag and drop this font to this folder I just created. And as you can see in my project view under the assets, I already had scenes and text mesh pro, and now I have fonts, and this font is here. But if you come to this text object I have here, and if you want to change this, as you can see, it doesn't show me the Halloween font here, the Halloween font that I just downloaded. And it's not possible to directly use that font, and you have to create a font asset for yourself. So for doing this, you just click on the font, and you come here in this game object, and then in this assets menu, and from create, the first option is create, and there is an option for font asset. So it is on create, text mesh pro, and then font asset. This way it creates me a font asset that can be used in the Unity. So I downloaded this from the web, then I went to this assets, create, and text mesh pro and font asset, and I created this Halloween asset. And now if I go here, it shows me that this Halloween asset is also added, and I can use this. And this is the font. As you can see, the font is changed, and this is how we use fonts in Unity. Okay, what we can do now is that although we have fonts, we can also have we can add some effects to this font. It's very common. We just don't use those plain fonts, and we have to add some effects. And for this, you just come to this text, and then In the inspector window, it is possible to add some components to um, UI effects. Let's see, I can add some effect here. Hmm, Needs already added. Or I just go to the UI, select from here, go to the UI and effects. From the effects folder, for example, I can add shadow or any other effects, and you can change many options here for your font, the color of the fonts, and then uh, some other options. uh, you just you have to do it yourself because there are many options for changing lightening and putting shadow, changing the softness, and as you can see I can change it, and everything on the left side on the text is changing. So if you want to add some effects to your text, you just go, as I said, add components, UI effects, and there are three effects already here, and you can select them and change the options here. um, by the way, when we added panel, the default color for panel is just this gray one, and I can change this panel to the color. I can change it to uh, change any color that you want based on your choice. So it is also possible that you just this is the output file. So this is not don't see how this panel works. Just this is the color that will be shown when you run your program. Okay, and so this was it is possible to add some other items as well to your panel. For example, here we have just text. If I want to add some other, for example, I can add button, and here I have a button. Again, I can change the position, and I can set this by pressing Alt, and in different locations. As you can see, I can change them. But for now, let's see, let's assume I can put it in the center. And one thing I do is sometimes this kind of a buttons are not kind of the buttons that are used in games. You have to change the background or anything else. You can do that. So when you add some buttons, there are two things that you can change. First is the text of this button, which is when you add some buttons, a text mesh pro is already added under button. I didn't add this one, it's added automatically. I just added button, and this is added automatically. And let's name it start button. I want to when I press this, I want to move to another panel, which will be the game panel now. But for now, I want to change this the appearance of this button here. Um, the source image can be changed. Again, probably for your game, you have to design everything for yourself. But for now, I'm going to add something from the Unity Asset Store. There are lots of free assets for buttons. And if we come here, this is probably one of the asset stores. Uh, Asset stores is one of the communities in Unity that you can add assets that are already there. Some companies, some people are in charge of creating those assets. You can also create your own asset and put it in asset store, and you can sell your asset. It is possible. But there are lots of assets that are freely available in this location, and you can add them. For example, here you can search some free buttons, and you can see lots of assets that are available. I just search it for buttons, and you can see many assets here. But for now, I just go with the simple ones, and this is how you add it from directly from the asset store. If you click on open in Unity, it directly knows that you already opened Unity. You have Unity installed on your computer, and uh, asks permission for adding to this Unity, and I just add it, and it goes to Unity window and asks me to import this asset. So if I just press this import button, the assets for having those image button, those button image, you can add them here. So I just press import, and this import here as well, and this way it's starting to import those button images in the project. Yes. And as you can see, this folder is also added under assets. This is the simple buttons. I can see it here. And now I want to change this image of this button to one of the images I just imported. So if you want to see as a list or icons, you can also change this if you want to save a space for yourself. Let's see what we have here. I go with this square buttons. Yeah, this one probably. And I select this button again here in the hierarchy, and it has a property named source image. And I just drag and drop one of these image to this button. I just need some plain image. So just put it here. And as you can see, the image is here for button is changed. And let's change a little bit position of this. We can have here. Yes. Yes, this is my image here. And then so I also change the text for this button. I want to change it to start, because I want to start new panel when I am just clicking on this. And now I have a panel, a game panel that has a text and that has a button with a customized image and text. And this is what we have here, and we can proceed and add some interactions to it. So for now, we just see what we did. Just recap what we did. I just added canvas, canvas for for my UI. And then I added a panel. I named it Start Panel. It was under the canvas, which this was my panel. And then for my panel, I added two items. One Text Mesh Pro, which asked me to start that package, and this package is also added here. And also I added start button under this start panel, and this is the button I have here. I created a font, and I downloaded font from internet, and then I created a font asset, and I used those assets, font asset, in this here. I can also use another font, for example, for this one, because this is just a regular start button here. And this is what we have done up to now. The next step for this UI is adding some interaction uh, to this button, because what I want to do is just adding an interaction, and it means that I want to be able to click on this start and some new panel which includes my game environment I want to appear, and this is what I want to do. um, for interaction, if you want to have interaction for your objects that you put in your UI, uh, for some items they are already available. For example, for this button, because we know that button is something that we can click or do other interactions with this. So if you just click on this start button, as you can see here, there is an option here that shows on-click, and it means that in this on-click I can add anything that can happen when I'm clicking on the button here. So this is where I manage the interaction with this UI buttons. And for this, what I do is I want to create another panel, which is the game panel. And what I want to do by starting panel is that that game panel is shown to me, and on the other hand, the start panel disappears. I want to do this. So let's start by adding another panel under the canvas. So again, I just right click on canvas, UI, and panel, and this time I call it game panel. This is my game panel and as you can see, it's over the previous panel, and that's the reason it is shown on the under this panel. If you don't want to see the start panel anymore, you can just uncheck this here. If I do this, so it is turned to gray, as you can see, and it means that it is disabled. But again, I can enable it again. So for now, because I don't want to interfere with this one, I just disable the start panel, because I just want to work with the game panel, and I'll go back and I will activate it later. So I just deactivate this start panel, and I only have game panel here, and I just add a text to show that this is my game panel, nothing else, because I'm just working with the UIs now, not the other game elements. So I just add text mesh pro, and in the text for this I just write welcome to game panel, and yes, sorry, I was changing the panel and not the text. Again, welcome Welcome. Now just want to show I am here in the this panel, and also I change it to Halloween as well, and arranging in the middle of the screen. This is my, and also change the background of this panel because I want to have a different background color. Uh, okay, this one, yeah, and okay. So what I want to do is now, by clicking on the start button, I want this game panel appears and the start panel disappears. So if I want to work with this start panel, this time I disable the game panel. I don't want to see it anymore. I just, this one, yes. So it's your choice. You just activate and deactivate any one to work with each panel. So in this start panel, what I do is I just go to this button, and as I said, there is an on-click option. And for this on-click option, as you can see, it's already empty. There is no action for this on-click. You just press the start, click this add button here, and because we don't want to work with the scripts and C# scripts now, we just do everything by drag and drop, and that's the reason I work like this. Otherwise, if I wanted to do some in a professional way, we don't usually go this way, and we create some scripts and add that scripts here. But now we just want to do everything by in the UI and not in the code, so that's the reason I'm going this way. Here by onclick, it means that it asks me to select to which object you want to do some change, and here this object is already none, so I have to put some objects that I want to interact with it. And as I said in my scenario, I want to activate this game panel by clicking on this start. So the object that I want to interact is this game panel. So I just drag and drop this game panel and put it here. And the function I want to call for this game object is just activating it, because it's already deactive at the beginning. And here I come and select the game object and then set active. I select this, and I check here because otherwise it means that it should be deactivated. But when I'm checking this, it means that I want to be activated. And now I have added a functionality to this button. By clicking this button, the game object, which is this game panel, will be activated. It is activated by game object set active, and that's it. So I want to do two things. First, I want to activate this game panel, and also I want to deactivate this start panel. This is the second thing I want to do, because I want to have them at the same time. Either start panel or game panel should be active. So I add another functionality here, which is called, again, I added here. And this time I want to interact with the start panel. So I just drag and drop this start panel here. And this time I select game object set active but not active, because I want this panel be disabled, and that's the reason I'm just disabling by this. So let's go and run this. Um, let's see, how can I, yes. I go and run this project, and let's maximize this at the run to see a full screen. Play maximize. I change it to play maximized and then run. Yes, this is our first panel in the game. And if I click on this start, it just the second panel appears and the first panel disables, and I don't see the start panel again. And this is how we can move between different scenes, move between different environments in our game from the start panel to other panels. So that's the reason that we have the one canvas and many panels. And I will show later in some example, just some simple example, that how we can review what I told today in just a very simple example. Um, this was a function. We will have a break in 10 minutes. Just probably, yeah, I can tell you in 5 minutes, and then we can have a break. Uh, what I did now is that I have something which is a button that has already on-click option. But sometimes we don't want to work with those buttons. We want to add some our own image or some other objects to our UI, and I want to interact with that one, not just the buttons. What I do here is that for example, let's do it for now. Disable this start panel and enable this game panel. And I want to have image here, an image that I want to interact with it. And then by clicking on it, it just goes to the, um, for example, the finish panel or game finish panel. So I do two things. I add another panel here. I go to the UI panel, and this is I call it win panel. For example, the panel that is shown when I win the game. And this win panel has different color. Let's say it's similar to the previous one. This will be one. Yes, this is the uh, and let's deactivate this panel. This is my panel here, and I add some text, UI text, text mesh pro, and I said U1. Okay. Um, this is a different panel that I want to interact with, so I just deactivate it or disable it for now. I come to the game panel. Now on my game panel is I mistakenly disabled it, the text instead of the panel, but I came back now. I just have game panel, and I want to add some image to this that I want to interact with that image. So I just come to UI image, and let's change the position of this welcome, and then for source image of this image that I have here, I want to enter. I work with the stone that we used at this last Monday, so I just drag and drop this in my environment. Not here. I have to create because it's now with the buttons here. I go and in the assets menu, I create a new folder, As I said, this foldering is very, very important. When your projects get bigger and bigger, it's almost impossible if you put everything in one folder. You have to do these hierarchies. So here I have this sprites folder, and then where did I put my, yeah, the stone image? I drag and drop to this sprites, so it is here now. And I select this image, and as you can see, the source of image is already none. And what I do is just drag and drop this stone to the source image of the image. I put it in the UI and it appears here. So what I want to do is that by clicking on this, I want to be able to interact with this stone here, and something happens. And here I want to, if I click on this stone, I want to go to the wind panel. And by default, if you click here, you can't see any option for unclick. So we had that for button. If you see, there was unclick option before in this button, but here what we can do with the image, and what we do here in order to be able to interact with this image is we have to add something in terms of event to it. And that's the reason we select that image, and I add components to this image, which is an event trigger. So you come here, and then you select from the list or in the event, or you can just type it, event trigger. And this event trigger is added down here. And by adding this event trigger, it allows you to add some events to that image and see what happens after that event. For example, the events are, for example, the clicking is a kind of event, or dragging is a kind of an event, dropping, moving. These are all the events that we can face them, and we can say what happens after each event. So here I add a event type here. So the first thing, I just added event type. If I just wanted to do it with the clicking, I select pointer click. If I want to do with the dragging, I just select drag. I will work with the rest of them as well, you will see that. But for now, I just click pointer click. It means that if I am clicking on that object, something will happen. And now I have this pointer click now, and I can add something here. It's same as the button that we had. So what I want to do is that I want to activate this wind panel by clicking on this. So I just drag and drop wind panel here. It's same as the button that you used before. And now here in the functions, again, I select game object and set active. And I want to activate and enable it. So I just check this one. And also, I want to go from the game panel to the win panel, so I want to deactivate this one as well. So I add second function, which is game panel. I drag and drop game panel here, and I select game object, set active, and disable. So what will be happen by clicking on this image is activating the win panel and deactivating this game panel. And at the beginning, which panel should be active? I deactivate this game panel, and the only panel will be active is the start panel. So as you can see, the game panel is deactive. Vim panel is deactive, and it's only start panel. And we will go by panel to other panel to finish our scenario. So here, let's run the program again. So this is our start panel, with the name of the game. I click on it, and this second panel comes, which is our uh, game panel. And then if I click on this stone, it just goes to the win panel. That's the win panel. I could have some options, for example, going to the lose panel, and in that case, I have to create a lose panel as well. And then this is how we just move between different panels. And in order to show you how these panels are activated and disactivated, let's change this from play maximize to play focus, and I want to do it in the way that you can see the hierarchy while running. So this time when I run, yes, and so as you can see, the start panel is active now. I click this one. So as you can see, this start panel is deactivated, and this game panel is activated, and win panel is still deactive. And by clicking this one, just the third panel appears, and the previous two ones are not active. Okay, let's have a break. And but before that, if you have any question, please ask me if you have any question.
I have a question.
Yes, sure.
There is a button component in the as well. How is that difference? The difference from the event trigger?
Here we didn't use the button. I just added button text mesh pro, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, but in the image,
Yes.
to call it, yeah, uh, you added a event trigger, right?
Yes.
You can
In the
also add
button,
a.
yes, in the button there was already event trigger, but just for the unclick.
I see.
But
Okay.
uh,
So yeah,
but
I get it.
yes,
Okay.
after break, I will show you that how we can add other events. For example, by drag, drop, move. What can be those interactions? And I will add it to the image, or even to the button. You can do that. The difference is that just for button, because the button is something that we just now by clicking, and that's the already on click is already there. But if you want to add other types of events, you have to add your event trigger, and then you can work with any type of the events you want.